Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to our first guitar chord that we're going to learn. It's your first chord in the series, and it's going to be your A chord. So we're going to go in for a close-up on this so that I can show you specifically what your A chord looks like. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so here we are on the close-up of the A chord. So I'm going to show you what the A chord looks like. And we're going to use 3 fingers, and this is what your A chord sounds like. Very nice sounding chord. So like I said, we're going to use 3 fingers for an A chord, and you're not going to play your top string. What we're going to do is we're going to play our first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Our second finger is going to go 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and our 3rd finger is going to go 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So I call this the smush chord because all your fingers are really smushed together on this 2nd fret. So for the first finger, you're going to want to set it back a little. Then your 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And you're only going to play the bottom 5 strings. Don't hit this top string. So the issues that people have with the A string is this first string gets muted. So if you're playing your chord and it's sounding a little bit like that, that's okay. All it's saying is your fingers are getting in the way, or you might not be pushing the strings down hard enough. So for your first finger, you really got to push down a little more because this is towards the back of the fret. So you need more energy to push a string down here than you need to push it closer to the fret. So sometimes this first string gets muted because you're not pushing it hard enough. So just like that. And sometimes also this first string will get muted for a couple reasons. Either one, you're not playing with the very tips of your fingers. So remember when we talked about fretting our guitar, we want to play with the tips of our fingers, not the pad of the finger. So really get those fingertips, because if you're laying, what happens if you're laying flat, this finger lays on that bottom string and mutes it. So if you play with your fingertips, that's going to help. Also, you want to make sure that there is a space under here for your finger to get through. If your hand is resting right against this to make your A chord, this part of your finger is going to mute that first string for almost every single chord. So you really want to make sure that there's, like, if you got a marker, you can get a marker and hold that marker in place and reach around that marker and see what it feels like to reach around that marker, and then try and keep that space. So that's it for the A chord. You might have to practice it a few times to really get that first string to ring out true, and maybe you're muting this bottom string, but just play each note, each string one at a time. Oh, and if you hear that, now you know to look at that string. Oh, it's because this finger is hitting the bottom string. Then play it again. And there you go. You just fixed the problem. So take one string at a time, get that A chord down, get them all sounding nice, and then move on to your next chord, which is going to be your E chord.